Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Pyari Sat Sangat Ji, we're all very blessed today to be gathered in the Pavan Pavitra Hazuri of Satguru Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, the King of Kings, the Saint of Saints, the Saviour of this world and the next. And as I stand before you, the beloved Sat Sangat, and as I stand before my beloved Satguru Ji, I'd like to ask you for forgiveness, firstly, for any mistakes that I made in the past, any mistakes that I'll make in the future. I also want to place the benti at your charan kamal. And I ask you to continue to shower me with your blessings and to continue to keep me in your ardas, so that when I speak only within the realms of Gurmukh, and so that when I walk with and towards these Gurmukh principles we speak about. What I'd like you to do today is to focus your minds back to 2007. And on that day, in 2007, an act was conducted. And it's an act that's not a unique act, that's not a standalone act. It's an act that's conducted across the world. Many of you who are gathered over here today have conducted this act. And what is that act, Khalsa Ji? That act is of placing a picture, of placing a painting, a portrait on a wall. This act is conducted in Gurdwara Sahib, in religious institutions, in police stations, in hospitals, in colleges, in schools, in universities, in town halls, in museums, and in libraries. And on the 29th of November in 2007, the painting, the picture of Shriman Sant Jarnail Singh Ji was placed on a wall of the Sikh Central Museum. Now, for those of you who've been to the Darbar Sahib, you will know that the Sikh Central Museum is actually within the Darbar Sahib complex. Now, what's interesting isn't the fact that a picture, a painting of Sant Ji had been placed on a wall. What's interesting is the reaction that followed. And the beauty of the internet is these days you can look back to that time period. You can look at the 30th of November, you can look at the 31st of November, and you can see the reaction that unfolded across Punjab and across northern India. But this reaction was only by a certain group of people. This reaction was elicited from government officials, from ministers, from right-wing Hindu fanatical groups. And they all had a single goal in mind. And what was that goal, Khalsa Ji? That goal was to remove the portrait, to remove the painting of Sant Ji. And they went about achieving this goal through a variety of different means. While some requested the SGPC to remove the portrait, some went to the media outlets, some went to the Times of India, some went to the Hindu newspaper, some went to the Rosanna spokesman, and they made a variety of different statements. And as I said, they ranged from a spectrum. While some requested the removal, others said that they were going to send vigilantes into Sachkhand Shri Harmandir Sahib, into the Sikh Central Museum, to forcefully tear down this painting of Sant Ji. I want you to pay specific attention to the line at the bottom where it says the Shiv Sena's leader has announced that if the SGPC fails to remove the portrait of Sant Jarnail Singh Ji, then they plan to send people into Darbar Sahib. They plan to send people into the Sikh Central Museum to take the picture down, to take the portrait down. And in return, they wanted to reward these people in millions of rupees in gold. Just for that simple act of placing a picture on a wall. And this is not a unique act. As I said, this is an act that's conducted across the world. So it's important at this stage that we begin to consider, why was there such a reaction? Why did these people react in such a way? And when you consider this, there are many different things to look at. Was there something wrong with the artist who painted this picture? No. Was there something wrong with the materials he used? Was there something wrong with the canvas? Was there something wrong with the paint? No, there was nothing wrong with that. So Khalsa Ji, was there something wrong with the content of the painting? Did it show Shriman Sant Jarnail Singh Ji doing something immoral? Did it show him doing something unethical? Did it show him doing something violent? Did it show him drinking the blood of the innocent? Did it show him stamping over the rights of others? Did it show him strangling an ethnic minority? Did it show him stepping over the rights of others? No, Khalsa Ji. You've seen the picture for yourself. Perhaps some of you have been to the museum in Gurdwara Sahib. That picture, that painting was very, very simple. All it showed was Sant Ji standing there with a very simple expression on his face. He wasn't making any political statement. He wasn't acting any violence. But Khalsa Ji, look at the reaction this painting of this Mahan Gurmukh invoked. And there's a very, very simple reason why such a reaction was elicited. And what was that reaction, Khalsa Ji? Because if you look at the picture and you look at photographs of Sant Ji, you'll see that this painting isn't a very accurate depiction of Sant Ji. It's an artist's impression. It's not a photograph of Sant Ji. And it's not a masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination. But it's what it represents. It's what Sant Ji stood for, what he stands for. Because Khalsa Ji, Sant Jarnail Singh Ji, they stood for the truth. They stood for dharam. They stood for righteousness. They stood for vivek. Who was reacting in this way? Was it the Sadh Sangat? Was it a group of Mahapurush? Was it some Brahmgyanis? Was it the Sikh Sangat? No, Khalsa Ji. Who was reacting in this way? The ones who reacted were the ones who've grown fat for lust for power, greed for power, greed for suppressing the rights of others. This is the perpetual conflict that Bibek and Abibek fight against one another. And for us to understand this further, we need to go back in history. We need to focus our minds to a story that's told by Tan Tan Satguru Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj in Shri Sant Gurbachan Sahib Ji. And Maharaj tells the story of a conqueror, of a king, of a barbarian by the name of Parasnath. And this barbarian had one goal in life. And what was that goal, Khalsa Ji? That goal was to conquer the whole world. He trained himself in all the arts of war. He trained his body in the arts of war. There was not a single martial art that this king did not know. And when he rose to power, he had one goal in mind. He had a map of the world. And he decided that he wanted to conquer every single land, every single king, every single man, woman and child. He wanted them to live under his rule. And in this way, he raised an army, and he sent the army to the four corners of the world. But he was not a king like today, who stand behind. No, Khalsa Ji, this king led his army from the very front. And after countless of years of bloodshed, after countless of years of killing men, women and children who stood in his path, he finally had conquered all four corners of the world. But he was still restless. He sat on his throne with his sword unsheathed. He sat with his shield by his side. And he sat looking at the world. And he wasn't convinced that there was no one left to fight. Khalsa Ji, this king then began to dispatch his armies and his generals right to the sky itself, right in the mountains, to look for someone to fight. But there was no one left up there. There was no one left to fight. And Khalsa Ji, when he'd exhausted all the mountains, all the skies, he then began to send his armies deep underground into the very earth itself. But there was no one left to fight. There was no one left to be seen. There was no king or warrior or people who was still sovereign, who did not live under his feet. There was no king or warrior who did not bow down to his will. Everywhere he went, people bowed to his feet. And Khalsa Ji, to confirm this fact, to confirm that there was no one left to fight, But Nath decided to go and speak to a Mahapurush, to speak to a sadhu. And who was this sadhu? It was someone by the name of Mashinder. And he asked him, he said, is there anyone left to fight? Is there any king? Is there any warrior that I still have to engage with, that I still have to conquer? Khalsa Ji, Mashinder said that you have conquered every single man, woman and child. Even the saints bow before you. But yes, there's one who you haven't conquered. There is one king, there is one warrior, there is one army that you have not even engaged with. You don't even know exists. How are you going to conquer them? And this army has been wreaking havoc within you. Abi Beg hai now. Its name is Abi Beg, and he lives in your heart and your mind. When Akal Purkh created this world, when he created this universe, he gave birth to two sons. One of the sons was called Vivek, and Vivek doesn't only mean dietary consumption, as some of us think. No, Vivek refers to knowledge, refers to righteousness, refers to dharam. This brother, this son was born, and when he was born, a twin was born. And who was that twin? That twin was Abi Beg. That twin represented vice. That twin represented ignorance. That twin represented darkness and falsehood. And Khalsa Ji, when Akal Purkh set these two brothers apart, he gave them a hukam to raise armies. And they recruited various warriors into their armies. While Abi Beg recruited the five evils, Bibek recruited his own warriors as well. And right from the beginning, they have been fighting again and again and again. And Khalsa Ji, this battle is ongoing to today. This battle is not one from the past. No, this battle occurs in each and every one of us. This battle occurs not on a yearly basis, not on a monthly basis, not on a weekly basis. Khalsa Ji, this battle occurs every single second. It's not good enough to defeat Abi Beg once. No, it's a constant conflict. And this is the panth that Satguru Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj unveiled to the world. The ones who are seeking spiritual truth, who are seeking to defeat Abi Beg, who are seeking to stand for righteousness. Abi Beg is not a religion. It's not a Hindu dharam. It's not a Muslim dharam. It's not the Christianity. No, it resides in every single one. And Khalsa Ji, it's our duty to decide which side that we want to fight for, which side we want to fight for. But it's very important, before we can pick up the sword, before we can pick up Bhagavati, before we can transform ourselves to the very reflection of Mahakal, what we need to do is we need to conquer, we need to win the battle of the mind. And there's only one way to win it. There's only one way you can go from ignorance to knowledge. There's only one way you can go from vice to virtue. There's only one way you can go from darkness to light. And where is that? How can we do that? The answer lies with us. The answer lies in Satguru Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, the one who's going to take you from darkness to light. It's through Gurbani, it's through the Gyan of Gurbani that that battle is going to be conquered. Because if a soldier simply picks up a sword and they don't have any saintliness inside them, they don't have any righteousness inside them, then they're not a soldier anymore, they're a barbarian. And if we pick up weapons without having this mentality, without conquering the demons within, then Khalsa Ji will be like what is not. We'll drink the blood of the innocent, we'll oppress the weak. We will not be able to discern between righteousness and wrong, truth and falsehood. And it's for this reason that we need to look at the spiritual Jeevani of Sant Jarnail Singh Ji, who didn't pick up the sword first, Khalsa Ji. No. Sant Ji conquered the battle within. He turned himself into the very reflection of Mahakal. And that's what we need to aim for. We need to follow the footsteps of our elder brother. On the 12th of February in 1947, Shriman Sant Jarnail Singh Ji was born into the house of Baba Joginder Singh Ji and Mata Nihal Kaur. And it's very important to say that the house that Sant Ji was born in, from a financial aspect, were very poor. But from a Sikhi perspective, they had very, very strong foundation. Baba Jarnail Singh Ji and Mata Nihal Kaur had spent countless years of seva of the Sadh Sangat, seva of Mahapurush like Sant Baba Sundar Singh Ji. They'd taken part in a variety of different morche in the 1930s and 40s. And when Mata Nihal Kaur was expecting Sant Gyani Baba Jarnail Singh Ji, she'd already begun to form the link with Gurbani, with Satguru Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. Because when she was expecting him, she was doing Moor Mantar Sahib, she was doing Gur Mantar Sahib, she was doing Shri Sukhmani Sahib, Shri Japji Sahib. Even before Sant Ji was born, that link had been created, Khalsa Ji. And when Sant Ji was born, it was Mata Nihal Kaur who placed Sant Ji in her laps and began to teach him Gurbani, began to teach him Moor Mantar, began to teach him Gur Mantar, began to teach him about this beautiful Marg of Satguru Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. It was the actions of Mata Nihal Kaur. She is the one who from a very young age put the Panch Kakar on him. She taught him the value. Because Sant Ji didn't see the kirpan as a piece of metal. He didn't see the kanga as a piece of wood. He didn't see his dastar as a piece of cloth. No, Khalsa Ji, he saw these as the gifts, as the symbols of love that Satguru Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj has given us, their very own roop. And Khalsa Ji, this is the way Mata Nihal Kaur raised Sant Ji. She is the one who taught him about the courage of Baba Fateh Singh Ji, about the courage, the strength of Baba Zorawar Singh Ji, about the bravery of Baba Jujar Singh Ji, about the strength of Baba Ajit Singh Ji. This is the environment that Sant Ji was born and raised in. And the variety of people who grew up with Sant Ji. Sant Ji was the 7th son born in the house of Baba Joginder Singh Ji. He had one sister as well. And as I said, it was a very poor household. When Sant Ji was young, he only had one chola that he used to wash every day. He didn't even have shoes to wear. Khalsa Ji, Sant Ji only used to eat half a prashada a day. Such were the circumstances. And he was very, very fond of roasted corn on the cob. But Khalsa Ji, despite having such a diet, despite only eating half a prashada a day, when Sant Ji got this, when he got some roasted corn on the cob, he didn't keep it for himself. No, Khalsa Ji. Sant Ji used to actively look for someone to share it with. And he didn't look for someone who was rich. He didn't look for someone who was poor. He didn't look for someone who was a Sikh, who was a Hindu, he was a Muslim. Sant Ji looked for any person he could share it with. Such was his upbringing. And he went to school. He went to primary school, and the teachers say that Sant Ji's memory was amazing. Anything he was told, anything he saw, he remembered immediately. And when he would come home, he wouldn't just sit down, he wouldn't lie on the bed. No, Khalsa Ji, he would go and help in the field. He would go and start working in the field. And by Veer Singh Ji, Sant Ji's elder brother, used to say that Sant Ji was different to all of the children. In a whole crowd, everyone would be focusing on one thing, but Sant Ji's thoughts were elsewhere. By Veer Singh Ji would see Sant Gyani Baba Jarnail Singh Ji in the field. He'd see him walking. And our Puratan Granth describe how a Gursikh is meant to walk. Khalsa Ji, with one step, you're meant to say Wahe. With the other step, you're meant to say Guru. That's the way Sant Ji used to walk. He didn't just used to sit down and do bhakti. Anytime he was engaged in any activity, any farming activity, Sant Ji would be attached to Shri Moor Mantar Sahib, to Shri Gur Mantar Sahib. Khalsa Ji, this is all before the age of 5. Sant Ji used to go outside and sit on the rocks themselves and would spend the whole night engrossed in abhyas. This is the upbringing that Sant Ji had. This is the upbringing that made his foundations in Sikhi so strong, that made his love for Satguru Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj so strong. And at the age of 5, Sant Ji was blessed with Satguru Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj's Amrit. At the age of 5, Khalsa Ji. And slowly, as time went on, when Sant Ji came home from school, when he was in the 3rd class of school, he came home. It was a very long day. It was very sunny outside. He came home and he was laying on his bed, Khalsa Ji. Baba Joginder Singh Ji came into the room. He saw Sant Ji lying on the bed and he said to Sant Ji, he said to Jarnail Singh, he said, "What's wrong? Are you tired? Have you plowed the fields? Have you taken the oxen out? Get up from the bed and recite Shri Japji Sahib 5 times." That's the bachan that Baba Joginder Singh Ji gave Sant Ji. And Sant Ji says he's the type of son who would bow down to any bachan that his father gave. He immediately got up. He immediately did Ishnan and then recited those 5 Shri Japji Sahib. And Khalsa Ji, from that day onwards, Sant Ji recited 5 Japji Sahibs from that very young age. And Khalsa Ji, it didn't stop over there. It didn't stop over there. No, we're not only meant to recite 1 Shri Japji Sahib. No. Sant Ji didn't stop at 5 Japji Sahibs. 5 became 10, 10 became 20, 20 became 30, 30 became 50. Khalsa Ji, to the end, Sant Ji recited 151 Shri Japji Sahibs per day. When Gyani Thakur Singh Ji asked Sant Ji about his nickname, he said, "Mahapurush, that how long do you spend on your nickname?" And Sant Ji, who was a student at the time, told Gyani Thakur Singh Ji that my nickname takes me 22 hours. I recite 151 Shri Japji Sahibs. I do the Panj Granthi. The rest of the time I'm engrossed in Abhyas. Every month I complete 1 Shri Sahaj Path. Khalsa Ji, when Sant Ji was 7 years old, something amazing happened. A Mahapurush of the very highest order came to their village. And who was this Mahapurush? This was Sant Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji, the 12th Jathedar of Satguru Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj's Damdami Taksal. And it's very important for you to know that before Sant Gurbachan Singh Ji came into the Taksal and into the Sangat of Baba Sundar Singh Ji, he had a very high avastha. Sant Gurbachan Singh Ji had the avastha that any Gurbani tuk that you mention, he could tell you exactly which ang and whereabouts on the ang that Gurbani tuk was from. And when Singhs asked him, "How have you developed such an avastha?" he said that even prior to coming into the Sangat of Sant Baba Sundar Singh Ji, this is when he was 18, he'd already completed over 500 Sahaj Paths. Because Khalsa Ji, that is the only way to have complete darshan of Satguru Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Without doing that Sahaj Path, how are we ever going to see Maharaj in their entirety? It's something for us to learn. How are we going to say Guru Meri Sang Sada Hai Nale if we're not engaging in a Sahaj Path every single second of every single day? It's impossible. Sant Gurbachan Singh Ji came to the village Rote, which is in the district of Moga, and he visited that village over 20 years. And when Sant Ji was 7 years old, he came and he visited the house of Baba Joginder Singh Ji. There was a Gurmukhs Samagam. After the Gurmukhs Samagam, he came to Baba Ji's house and he looked at Baba Joginder Singh Ji and he said, "How many children have you got? How many sons and daughters has Maharaj blessed you with?" And Baba Joginder Singh Ji said, "I have 8. I have 7 sons and 1 daughter." Khalsa Ji, Sant Gurbachan Singh Ji looked at Baba Joginder Singh Ji and he said, "Why don't you give 1 to me?" And perhaps you are all mothers and fathers over here. Imagine your 7-year-old son or daughter. If a Mahapurush came today and asked you for your son or your daughter, what would you do? What would you say? Because Khalsa Ji, when Sant Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji gave this bachan, everyone went silent. The silence was broken by Baba Joginder Singh Ji, who said something very simple. He said, "Sant Ji, whichever child you want, I'll line them up. You take whichever one you want." Because he knew that Sant Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji was going to teach them santhia, was going to attach them to Satguru Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, was going to teach them not only Shastra Vidya, was going to teach them santhia, was going to attach them to the feet of Maharaj. And Khalsa Ji, Baba Joginder Singh Ji lined up his 7 children, his 8 children. Sant Gurbachan Singh Ji looked at each one of the children, and then he went to the youngest, to the one who was wearing no shoes, to the one who had a torn chola. He placed his hands on the shoulders of Sant Jarnail Singh Ji, and he said to Baba Joginder Singh Ji, give us this one. Because his dasam dwar was open, he knew what future lay for Sant Ji. And he said, we'll take him, we'll treat him as our son. He's now ours. And this way, Khalsa Ji, Sant Yani Baba Jarnail Singh Ji then went to the Taksal under Sant Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji. And there were many Mahan Gurmukhs there at the time. There was an individual by the name of Sant Baba Kartar Singh Ji, who was 15 years older than Sant Ji. And Sant Ji became friends with Sant Baba Kartar Singh Ji because they were both Nama Biasi Gursikhs. And one day, Sant Jarnail Singh Ji asked Sant Baba Kartar Singh Ji, there's so many Singhs over here. They're all doing Seva, they're all doing Simran, they're all learning Kirtan, they're all doing Katha. That place is really Sachkhand. He said, they have so much Kirpa. I want Kirpa as well. I want this gift as well. How can I do it? How can I achieve it? And Baba Kartar Singh Ji said, every day, Sant Gurbachan Singh Ji does Katha of Satguru Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. And afterwards, he sits with Maharaj. And he sat in his own moj, reciting Shri Gur Mantar, Shri Mool Mantar Sahib. Go and stand before Maharaj, go and stand before Guru Sahib. With your hands folded and your head down and ask for Kirpa, and you will surely get it. But Sant Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji will tell you to go away. He'll tell you to run away from that place. Don't waver, stand there, stay there, and you will surely get Kirpa. The next day, Sant Jarnail Singh Ji stood in front of Maharaj. He stood in front of Sant Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji and did the benti. And he said to Sant Ji, Kirpa karo. And Sant Gurbachan Singh Ji said, is it me who does Kirpa, or is it Satguru Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj? Go away from here, run away. He shouted at Sant Jarnail Singh Ji. But Sant Jarnail Singh Ji simply stood. He didn't waver, he didn't shake. He stood there again and again and again. And finally, Sant Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji said, it must be Baba Kartar Singh Ji who's told you to do this. He's the one who used to stand like this. All the Kirpa that you want is found within Shri Asa Diwar Sahib. Go and memorize that. Khalsa Ji. Sant Jarnail Singh Ji left that place. And by the morning, he'd finished memorizing Shri Asa Diwar Sahib. And the next day, he was stood in front of Sant Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji again. And he said, Kirpa karo. And Sant Gurbachan Singh Ji said, I told you to memorize Shri Asa Diwar. Have you not done it? Why haven't you done it yet? Sant Jarnail Singh Ji said, nay, I've done that, I've memorized it. Kirpa karo. And in this way, Sant Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji smiled at Sant Ji and he said, memorize the Panch Granthi, make that your nickname. Khalsa Ji, in addition to the Panch Bani, it composes of Shri Asa Diwar, Shri Sukhmani Sahib, Shri Omkar Sahib, Shri Siddh Ghost, and Shri Bhavani Akri. Those were the Bani that Puratan Singhs used to recite as part of their nickname. And this is the type of nickname that Sant Ji started from a very young age. Remember, he wasn't even 10 by this time. And one day, Khalsa Ji, a Sangat had come to visit the Taksal. And they'd come to do vichar with Sant Gurbachan Singh Ji. And while they were sat down with Sant Ji, they were talking about specific Gurbani Tuk. Gur Sat Guru ka jo Sikh khai, so pal ke ut har naam pe aaye. And they were asking Sant Gurbachan Singh Ji that you have 300, 400 Singhs over here. They're all doing Seva, they're all doing Simran, they're all doing Nama Bias. Tell us, who is the living embodiment of this Shabad? Because remember, Khalsa Ji, as a student of Taksal, there's a minimum number of abhyas that you have to do. Just to be a student, just to join. You had to do your basic 5 Nitnem Banis. But not only that, Khalsa Ji, you had to do one of the following: 25,000 Shri Guru Mantra Sahibs, 33 malas of Shri Mool Mantra Sahib. One mala has 108 beads. So for those of you who are good at maths, you'll know that that's 3,564 Mool Mantra Sahib jobs. 5 Sukhmani Sahib parts, or the Panch Granthi. That's the minimum Nitnem that these things have to keep. Khalsa Ji, Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji said, they're all Naam Kamai Wale Gursikhs. They're all Puran Gursikhs. But the Sangat were persistent and they said, no, tell us one. One who stands above the others. And finally, Sant Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji raised his hand and he said, that Singh sat over there by himself, reciting Mool Mantra Sahib, reciting Guru Mantra Sahib, go and do their darshan. That Singh is one day going to unite the whole Panth. He is complete in every aspect. He is the living embodiment of the Shabad. Khalsa Ji, who was he pointing at? That was Shriman Santhia Baba Jarnail Singh Ji. Now it's very important to realize what sort of Jeevan that Mahapurush had. We spoke about a Nitnem that lasted 22 hours. When Singhs used to go to sleep, Sant Ji would still be awake. What would Sant Ji be doing? Sant Ji would be cleaning the Gurdwara Sahib. Sant Ji would be cleaning the Pande. Sant Ji would be cleaning the Sangat's shoes. While everyone else was asleep. If anyone got up and they saw Sant Ji, instead of speaking to them, what would Mahapurush do? Mahapurush would simply give them a broom and say, do seva. And while doing seva, he'd be doing abhyas, he'd be doing bani. Khalsa Ji, at 5 o'clock in the morning, Sant Ji would finally go to sleep. At the very hour that the other Singhs were rising to get up, Sant Ji was going to sleep. And then, after doing abhyas in the morning, at 7 o'clock, they would be stood there eating their breakfast and they would see Sant Ji getting up. And they would see Sant Ji coming with a towel and wearing his kashera, and they'd say to him that here comes a Mahan Abhyasi. What did they know about Sant Jarnail Singh Ji's Jeevani? They thought he was getting up at 7 o'clock, when in reality, Khalsa Ji, while they were sleeping, what was he doing? He was doing their seva. He was doing abhyas. Khalsa Ji, this is the Jeevani of Shriman Sant Baba Jarnail Singh Ji. Years before he became the Jathedar of Taksal, years before he had darshan of Satguru Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, he was doing this. And Khalsa Ji, Gyani Thakur Singh Ji says when the Singhs would go to different villages, they would all go to Gurmukhs Samagams. Sant Ji would stay behind. He would take all the Singhs' kasheri off the washing lines and he would wash them himself. Khalsa Ji, how humble was Sant Ji. And this is not only Singhs who said this, people who visited, people who've seen Sant Ji would know. In 1983, one of the state secretaries introduced Sant Ji as a Brahmgyani. This is the response that Sant Ji said. I'm no Brahmgyani. I'm a mean person. How much humility was in Sant Ji? And Khalsa Ji, at the time, the Singhs say that they used to be very scared of Sant Jarnail Singh Ji. When they would see him coming, they would hide. They would run away. Why was this, Khalsa Ji? Because as soon as Sant Jarnail Singh Ji saw someone who did seva, as soon as he saw someone who was committed to the path of Satguru Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, as soon as he saw someone who would do abhyas, Sant Jarnail Singh Ji would go and touch their feet. He would go and touch their feet and he'd ask them to place their hand on his head and bless him so that he can have a Jeevani like theirs, so that he can be attached to Satguru Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Khalsa Ji, this is the Singh who had a Nitnem of 22 hours. This is the request that he was making. Joyce Pettigrew, who saw Sant Ji in 1983, says that he wasn't the figure of hate that the message the media were getting across. No, he was not the figure of hate. He was anything but the figure of hate. He was full of love, Khalsa Ji. It didn't matter if you're Baba Nihal Singh Ji. It didn't matter if you're Sant Jarnail Singh Ji. It didn't matter if you're Brahmgyani Sant Baba Thakur Singh Ji. No, Khalsa Ji. So long as you are Gursikh following this marg or trying to follow this marg, Sant Ji would touch your feet. When the season of sowing the crops had come, Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji would send Sant Ji back to his village to help over there. But despite this, Sant Ji would always try and come back to Taksal. He'd always come back to have sangat of those Gursikhs. And one day, Sant Ji, the cows on the farm weren't producing any milk. They weren't getting enough food. But Sant Ji had a desire to take some milk for the Singhs, who were engrossed in Naam Abhyas, who were engrossed in Simran and Seva. So he did a benti to the farmers around, and he collected some milk to give a seva. And he went to Taksal with his brother, Bhai Veer Singh Ji. And he came and he had a very brief conversation with Sant Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji. And in that conversation, all Sant Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji asked as if he was in Chardi Kala, and Sant Ji smiled and said yes. And he left the milk over there. And there was a new Singh who'd come to Taksal, and he asked Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji, because he'd seen Sant Jarnail Singh Ji coming, he saw that he had a torn chola. He saw his dastar wasn't done properly. He saw that his shoes were broken. And he said to Sant Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji that Singh is very garib. That Singh hardly has anything. And overcome with Berag, Sant Gurbachan Singh Ji, with tears in their eyes, looked and said, no, that Singh is anything but garib. That Singh is Amir. That Singh has Lakshmi, has Maya, presenting herself to his doorstep every single day, begging to be accepted. But Khalsa Ji, Sant Jarnail Singh Ji was the type of person who rejected Maya. All he wanted was the love of Satguru Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Now we compare that to ourselves. What are we chasing after? How many of us are actually looking for Brahm Gyan, wanting the true Partak Darshan of Satguru Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj? And how many of us are looking for Maya? Now don't get me wrong, Maya is important. But Khalsa Ji, look at the Jeevani of Sant Jarnail Singh Ji. And there's an example from history that we can look at. From the times of Satguru Shri Guru Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj, there was a Sikh by the name of Bhai Bikari Ji who was gone to Kashmir, who was doing seva over there. And he went to the house of a sadhu, to a house of someone who liked to do seva of Sant, called Bhai Daulat Shah. And he went to his house. Bhai Daulat Shah did a lot of seva for him. And finally, he was walking with Bhai Bikari Ji. They were walking, and a thought came into Bhai Daulat Shah's mind that this is a Sikh of Satguru Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. That Guru who has all the treasures in the world, the materialistic treasures and the spiritual treasures. But look at his Sikh. His Sikh isn't even wearing shoes. His Sikh doesn't even have any proper clothes on. They're all torn. And he began to doubt Satguru Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, began to doubt Satguru Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. Bhai Bikari Ji, who was Antarjami, he knew what was passing in his mind. So what did he do, Khalsa Ji? He did an ardas to Maharaj. And in that instant, any place that Bhai Bikari Ji would look, the very sand, the very rocks, the very soil itself would turn into diamonds, would turn into gold. Khalsa Ji, what was he trying to show? He was trying to show that this house of Satguru Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj lacks nothing. Everything is here, but Gursikhs make a conscious decision. They recognize gold, diamonds, rubies. Maya is just a distraction. It's trying to distract us from the path of Satguru Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. So when you see a poor Gursikh, never think that they're poor. They have the love of Satguru Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. What's more than that? Gyani Thakur Singh Ji one time asked Sant Ji, have you seen any Kotak? Has anything ever happened to you? Again, while they were students, Sant Ji used to keep their Jeevan very gupt, but he used to tell students with him so that they would be inspired, so that they could begin to take steps towards Maharaj as well. And Sant Ji said, yes, one time, when I was lying in bed, when I was doing abhyas, a vision came into my mind, and I saw two bulls fighting by a watering hole in our village. And I heard the bangs. I heard the blood splattering over the earth. I saw everything. It was like I was there. And the very next morning, when Bhai Veer Singh Ji came, and he told Mata Nihal Kaur 2 bulls have fought and died in our village. Sant Jarnail Singh Ji got up and he was surprised. And he went to that place and it was exactly as he saw in his dream. And from that moment, Sant Ji began to see other things in his dreams. What did he begin to see? He began to see sants, he began to see Mahapurush, he began to see sadhus, he began to see dharmik asthans. But Khalsa Ji, eventually he began to see people like Baba Buddha Ji, like Baba Deep Singh Ji, like Bhai Mani Singh Ji. And when that happened, Khalsa Ji, Sant Jarnail Singh Ji says he didn't leave his home. No, because he was worried if I go outside into this world, I begin to talk to people, I might lose my focus, I might lose my concentration, I might lose my goal of meeting the feet of Satguru Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. And Sant Ji said, from then on, 22 hours a day he would stay in his house. He never used to see anyone. Bhai Veer Singh Ji would come to his doorstep, would come to the door and would leave half a glass of milk and a quarter prashada over there, and Sant Ji would eat that the whole day. That's all he'd eat. Because Khalsa Ji, Sant Ji had a specific goal in his mind. Darshan dije khol ki baat. That's all he wanted. He wanted the doors opening. He wanted to have darshan of Satguru Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. Someone who's done so much abhyas of Shri Japji Sahib, a thought came into his mind. Various Mahapurushs have had darshan of Maharaj, of Satguru Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. I want that kirpa too. And in this way, for 40 days, Sant Ji engrossed himself in Naam Abhyas. But what did he do, Khalsa Ji? He removed his bed from the room and he put stones and thorns so that when he felt sleepy, he wouldn't have anywhere to sleep. But Khalsa Ji, Sant Ji did such tapasya, such abhyas, his body grew very tired and he used to sleep on thorns and stones. That's how tired he was. And when he would get up, he would take them out of his back. Khalsa Ji, for 38 days, Sant Ji did this. And on the 38th day, Mahapurush says, told Gyanani Thakur Singh Ji, that his body felt very weak. His consciousness was drawn inwards. He left his sareer. Where did he go, Khalsa Ji? He began to ascend to the doors of Sachkhand themselves. And Khalsa Ji, when he reached there, he heard a voice. And who was that voice? That was Satguru Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj saying, where are you going? You still have seva to do. Khalsa Ji, Sant Ji had darshan of Prakash and woke up in his room. On the 40th day, Satguru Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj blessed Sant Ji with darshan. Sant Ji was overcome with anand, with bliss. And a similar example happened with Satguru Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, but I recognize that it's nearly past, so we'll move on. In 1975, Sant Jarnail Singh Ji and the rest of the Jathedar went to Sachkhand Shri Hazur Sahib. And at Sachkhand Shri Hazur Sahib, there is so much kirpa. Any kirpa that has come to a Mahapurush has come from there. Sant Baba Jawala Singh Ji, Sant Baba Nidan Singh Ji, Bhai Rajinder Singh Ji, Sant Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji, Sant Baba Nidan Singh Ji, all of them had kirpa at Sachkhand Shri Hazur Sahib. In fact, when this world ends, when Kaljug reaches its peak, when the Nagari begin to beat at the Shaheed Sarovar, and when 960 million come to this earth, they're going to come. The first place they'll be seen is the Sachkhand Shri Hazur Sahib at Sarablo Bunga. This place has so much kirpa bestowed by Satguru Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. The Singhs had gone. It was the times of Sant Baba Kartar Singh now, who had become the Jathedar. 300 Singhs had gone to the Asthan. And they'd gone there for one purpose, to do bhakti, to do Naam Abhyas. Sant Jarnail Singh Ji had a very strong desire to complete a jap of Shri Japji Sahib. And he did a benti to Sant Baba Kartar Singh Ji. At the end of their stay, Sant Kartar Singh Ji told the Singhs that if anyone wants to stay and do this Japji Sahib jap with Sant Jarnail Singh Ji, you can stay here. 9 Singhs got up, including Sant Jarnail Singh Ji, including Gyanani Thakur Singh Ji, including Bhai Dalbir Singh Abhyasi, Bhai Gurdev Singh Ji. Who are these 2 Singhs? These were 2 Singhs who were responsible for giving that neck-breaking reply to the Indian government who tried to touch Sachkhand Shri Harmandir Sahib. Khalsa Ji, they were preparing their minds. They happily stayed behind to do that job. And the Jathedar at the time was Sant Baba Joginder Singh Ji, a Jathedar who was there for 40 years, who for 12 years did not speak. He was engrossed in Naam Abhyas. And Sant Jarnail Singh Ji asked him, how should we do this seva? How should we do this job? And Sant Joginder Singh Ji said, stand at each door of Sachkhand Sri Hazur Sahib and recite 5 Japji Sahib the parts over there. Because there are 20 doors on the outside and there are 4 doors on the inside. 120 Shri Japji Sahib. The Singhs completed this in 40 days. After doing Ardas to Maharaj, they then went to Nagina Ghat and Shikar Ghat, and then Khalsa Ji. At 5 p.m. they decided to go and have darshan of the Gurdwara Sahib or Mata Sahib Kaur. And they had to walk there, and Sant Jarnail Singh Ji told the Singhs, he said, Mata Ji will be very happy if you have a lot of langar over there. So make sure you eat a lot. Khalsa Ji, Sant Jarnail Singh Ji was the only one who had half a prashadda. Everyone else ate as much as they could. And at night, they were stood outside the Gurdwara Sahib with mala in their hand, reciting the name of Akal Purkh. Everyone went to sleep apart from one person. And who was that person? That was Sant Jarnail Singh Ji, who was still awake. Khalsa Ji, the Singhs got up in the morning. They saw Sant Ji stood on one leg with tears in his eyes. They knew he'd been crying. And Khalsa Ji, in this way, they left Sachkhand Sri Hazur Sahib. It was only 3 months later on where Sant Jarnail Singh Ji told Gyanni Thakur Singh Ji what happened. And what did he say, Khalsa Ji? He said, so much kirpa was done in Sachkhand Sri Hazur Sahib. When I was stood there doing abhyas with tears in my eyes, so much bairag had come. I was calling out for Satguru Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj at 12 o'clock at midnight. So much prakash was seen in the Gurdwara Sahib. It was like 1,000 million suns. And who came out, Khalsa Ji? It was Mata Sahib Kaur. And how does Sant Ji describe Mata Sahib Kaur? She was 6 foot tall. She had a long chola on. She had a basanti rang dastar with 2 chakkars. She was holding a mala in one hand and a Sri Sahib in the other. And she came and she hugged Sant Jarnail Singh Ji and she asked him, Jarnail Singh, what do you want? Why are you crying? And Sant Jarnail Singh Ji said, Satguru Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj is not giving me darshan. And this is the type of mother that we have, Khalsa Ji. Mata Sahib Kaur went back into the Gurdwara Sahib. Sant Jarnail Singh Ji could see a golden throne. Who was such in the golden throne? It was Satguru Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. At the bottom of the golden throne were all sorts of shastras. Sant Ji couldn't have darshan of Maharaj, but he heard the deep roaring voice. And Maharaj said, ask Jarnail Singh, what sort of darshan does he want? Because there are many different types of darshan. Mata Sahib Kaur came outside and she asked Jarnail Singh, what sort of darshan do you want? And Sant Ji said, I want that darshan, that every single place I look, I see Satguru Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. She did the benti, and Sant Ji described that Maharaj was sitting with his back towards Sant Ji, but he turned his head, he saw Guru Gobind Singh Ji's red face, he saw those beautiful eyes, and Maharaj said, you will get that avastha, you will get that darshan. It was only when Sant Jarnail Singh Ji became the Jathedar of Satguru Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj's Taksal. They'd gone to the Asthan of Baba Nand Singh Ji. And while traveling in the bus, Sant Ji called Gyanni Thakur Singh Ji, someone he'd known right from the beginning, he was students with. And he said to Gyanni Thakur Singh, he told all the Singhs to go to the back, and he told the driver, don't listen to what I'm saying. And while he was sat there, he told Gyanni Thakur Singh Ji this for one reason alone. And you'll find out that reason, Khalsa Ji. He told Gyanni Thakur Singh Ji that avastha that I asked for in 1975, I have got that avastha now. Everywhere I look, I see Prakash. Everywhere I look, I see Satguru Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. That's the darshan that Sant Ji had. That's the avastha that Sant Ji had. Gani Thakur Singh Ji congratulated Sant Ji, but Sant Ji says, I have a very big problem now. Now I've become Jathedar of this Taksal, I have certain responsibilities. I'm meant to get up very early in the morning. What's happening these days, I only get up at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, late in the morning. Khalsa Ji, Sant Jarnail Singh Ji hadn't become lazy. No. What was happening? Sant Jarnail Singh Ji said, after reciting Shri Sohela Sahib, his consciousness is drawn in and he goes up to Sachkhand. He resides at Sachkhand itself, Khalsa Ji. And he did a benti to Gani Thakur Singh Ji that you need to do something at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. Come into my room, press on my toe and roar fateh at me. So I can get up at that time. This is the avastha Shriman Sant Yani Baba Jarnail Singh Ji had. This is the reason why 100,000 troops were sent to Sachkhand Shri Darbar Sahib. Because these were the type of Gursikhs who were residing there, who had become the embodiment of truth, who had become the embodiment of dharam, who had become the embodiment of vivek. Now Khalsa Ji, I know it's half past, but if you can just give me 5 more minutes, I'm going to conclude now. There's so much more to talk about Sant Jarnail Singh Ji's Jeevani, but because of time constraints, perhaps we'll do it another time. But it's very important to realize this is only a tip of the iceberg. Mahapurush's avastha was very, very high, and yet they kept it so hidden. Only those who have darshan of Mahapurush, only those who spent sangat, did sangat of Mahapurush can vouch for this. Now Khalsa Ji, there are many, many different problems that we face as a panth, as a nation. Forget what's happening in India, look to this very country. We have problems involving the caste system. We have problems involving Jathe. We have problems, Nindaks coming into the Gurdwara Sahibs and casting doubt on the Bani of Satguru Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Casting doubts on the Bani of Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. We have the problem of Pakhandi Gurus. We have the problems of alcohol. We have the problems of drug abuse. We have the problems of domestic violence. We have every single problem. And Khalsa Ji, there are loads of people who like to debate these problems. There are loads of people who try to look for the root cause of these problems. But what is the root cause, Khalsa Ji? The root cause is that there are too many people like me who stand and talk, and there are too few people like Shriman Sant Yani Baba Jarnail Singh Ji who live and breathe the Bani of Satguru Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. So, as the generation that carries the flag of the Sikh nation now, we need to ask ourselves, how do we address this problem? Because remember, this generation is sealed now. No more is going to come into this generation. A new generation has already taken birth. Khalsa Ji, we have 2 options. One, we can stand before Satguru Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj and we can ask Maharaj to send more Gurmukhs to the next generation. Or Khalsa Ji, we can stand up, we can rise to the occasion, we can become who we were born to be. And we can become the Sant Jarnail Singh Jis, we can become the Pai Fauja Singh Jis, the Pai Anok Singh Ji, the Pai Randir Singh Jis. But Khalsa Ji, where is this going to come from? Because remember, while these Gursikhs, they begged for kirpa from only one source. And where's that source? That source is right here. That kirpa was there then. That kirpa is here now. That kirpa will be here in the future as well. Khalsa Ji, we all need to take steps to our Satguru. That's the only way things are going to change. That's the only solution to our problems. Gurbani, that's the sword that we need to invoke. It doesn't become of us to live as sheep. It doesn't become of us to live as cowards. It doesn't become of us to be the slaves of Abhibek. No, Khalsa Ji. We are sons of Satguru Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, of Satguru Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. We need to invoke the sword of Gyan. We need to invoke Gurbani. We need to become the lions that we were born to be. And Khalsa Ji, for us to achieve this, we need to take some steps. We need to come back to Sachkhand Shri Anandpur Sahib, our home. For those of you who reside at Sachkhand Shri Anandpur Sahib, I bow at your feet again and again. For those of you who are making efforts to come home to Sachkhand Shri Anandpur Sahib, I bow at your feet again and again and again. But for those of you Khalsa Ji, there might be some of you who don't know how to get home, who don't know if a road exists, who have found themselves in the darkest, deepest pits of this world. Khalsa Ji, to you I ask you, stand before Satguru Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj and do an ardas. Because if you do an ardas with a pure heart, you won't need to worry about walking to Sachkhand Shri Anandpur Sahib. Satguru Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj themselves will set out. They will find you, no matter where you are, no what problems you have, no matter how far you've fallen. And Maharaj with their bare hands shall pick you up. And Khalsa Ji, they shall carry you back to Sachkhand Shri Anandpur Sahib. But you need to do the ardas. No one else is going to do that for you. You need to make those steps. Khalsa Ji, do the ardas. I'd like to ask you for forgiveness for any mistakes that I've made. Please consider me your younger brother. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji